everybody! Yeah, I wanted to do something. So I had this concept called the Minty Men, which is something I came up with because, I was bored. And, I've been just dealing with with my IRL stuff with my aunt being gone. So usually when I'm like in this kind of like sad kind of state, I usually create like the weirdest or interesting shit. So I wrote a song, put it through used to be called producer AI, now they're calling it Google now they're calling it Google they're calling it Google Flow now. And then after that I decided to make a deep dive on it about it, writing everything I had for seasons of a show that I'm probably never going to make, or probably I will make. I'm probably gonna change a lot of it, but I don't know. I just kind of wanted to do this as kind of a thought experiment, as a way of just kind of it's kind of my way of fucking healing. I know it's like you guys were like, well, Bugsy, that's kind of weird, man. I know it's weird, but I don't know. Creating just kind of pulls me out of my funk, and I don't know why. It just kind of does. So thought of this idea for the Minty Men off of the off of the theme song alone, and I was just like, you know what? We need to like this thing. Let me write a few things down for episodes, and let's see where we go with this. And then I was like, I was pleased with what I wrote. I I kind of did a few other things and put them into the deep dive. And now, what you're gonna hear is the opening for the first 3 seasons of the Minty Men, and the movie theme that is just pretty much the redone version of the theme song, and then the deep dive. So yeah, I'm probably only gonna put the one song, and I'll put the other one at the end. I'm thinking I should do that. But I don't know. Maybe I'll put the one song and then I'll put like the movie version. I'll put the movie version as an upload for tomorrow. Yeah, maybe that'll work. But I shall see you all. I shall see you all next time. I give you the Minty Men, or the world of the Minty Men. I'm still kind of like wondering what the title is going to be, like the Minty Men or the world of the Minty Men, which I think that's what I'm going to go with. But I'll see you guys later. Peace. Oh, I'll see you guys later, but you're going to see more video. So you'll see me later. Wait, titties. I'll see you guys later.
Slapped Mickey right behind the head. Wake up, buddy, we're not done yet. General came swinging with Mr. Red in hand, marching like a one-man marching band. Mr. Red went wild. Minty Man.
Derek slapped Mickey right behind the head. Wake up, buddy.
Wake up, buddy. We're not done yet.
Gerald came swinging with Mr. Red in hand.
Marching, like a one-man marching band.
Oh, man, I have had that melody echoing in the back of my skull for, like, 3 straight days now.
It is relentless. I wake up humming it.
Right. And if you, our listener, have been anywhere on the internet in the last 72 hours, I am willing to bet you've had it stuck in your head, too.
Oh, absolutely. People are losing sleep over this.
Completely losing sleep. I mean, imagine realizing that this animated show you've been, casually watching for years isn't just breaking the fourth wall for a cheap laugh.
Yeah, it's actively building a psychological cage around you, the viewer.
Exactly. So today, we are wading into the deep end of a cultural, borderline existential phenomenon. We're doing a deep dive into the world of the Minty Men.
And we are not just dipping our toes in, okay? We are practically vibrating with excitement.
We are losing our minds. So let me give you the setup for how this specific deep dive landed on our laps. Originally, our boss, who we will refer to as Bugsy No Name, was slated to cover this.
Right, just as a standard, straightforward media review.
Yeah, but he took one look at the sheer, unadulterated madness of the source material, saw the literal millions of forum posts, backed slowly away from his desk, and said to us, and I quote, I'll give it to Elias and Miss Angelica, because honestly, this shit is nuts.
A direct verbatim quote, by the way, and honestly, a very accurate assessment of his own limitations.
100%, because you cannot approach this show with the traditional clinical mindset.
You really can't. You have to be a little unhinged to even try to untangle it, which is why we are perfect for this.
We wear that designated team moniker with absolute pride. So the mission for this deep dive is clear. We are hardcore, unapologetic fans, and we're going to break down the entire universe for you.
Every single episode, the feature-length movie, that insane theme song.
And of course, the massive real-world countdown that is currently melting the internet.
Literally crashing servers as we speak. So whether you're a hardened Minty veteran or completely new to this chaos, we've got you covered.
Yeah, if you just want to know why your timeline is suddenly full of people screaming about sour cream, stick around. We are mapping out the madness.
Let's start with the foundation, because it tricks you into thinking it's innocent at first.
It really does. You look at the promotional poster, and it's just a bunch of colorful, goofy characters.
Yeah.
So what exactly is the core premise here?
Well, at its baseline, the show presents itself as a surreal, slapstick fantasy. But the operative rule is that reality itself is permanently broken.
Right, it's not just ignoring logic.
No, it violently punishes logic. Every episode starts like a standard Saturday morning cartoon, and by the end, the narrative structure has collapsed into pure, weaponized nonsense.
Weaponized nonsense is the perfect way to put it. And the cast is just so bizarre. We have to go through the first season, which is 13 excruciatingly detailed episodes, to really see this foundation.
Let's jump right into episode 1, Welcome to Minty World. It is a masterclass in misdirection.
Oh, completely. We meet Derek, who is your classic hyperactive troublemaker.
He's the catalyst for everything. And he discovers their town isn't powered by electricity, but by pure nonsense energy.
And the animation for that is so cool. It's just frantic, pulsating scribbles in the air.
Yeah, changing colors constantly. And then he meets Mickey, the designated punching bag of the universe.
Poor Mickey. He's just walking down the street, and Derek causes this chain reaction of slapstick chaos that creates the first Minty Man incident.
And the episode doesn't even resolve. It just abruptly cuts to Gerald, this dramatic fighter guy, holding a living weapon known as Mr. Red roll credits.
It's so jarring. Which brings us to episode 2, the back of the head incident.
The inciting incident here is literally just Derek walking up and slapping Mickey in the back of the head. That's it.
But because of the nonsense energy, that slap creates a literal dimensional ripple.
The background art style shifts into hyper-realistic oil paintings for a split second.
I remember jumping the first time I saw that. And Mickey spends the whole episode trying to prove Derek is secretly evil.
And the psychological horror is that Mickey is completely right. Derek is patient zero for the chaos, but nobody believes Mickey. The universe just gaslights him.
The universe does not care. And then, episode 3, who is Mr. Red? This introduces my absolute favorite dynamic.
Oh, Mr. Red is iconic. Gerald has this weapon, but it's not a sword. It is literally just a floating, featureless red rectangle.
A red rectangle that talks and fights and somehow predicts natural disasters.
But his defining trait is his incredibly fragile ego. He gets furiously angry over minor inconveniences.
The visual comedy of a flat shape vibrating with rage is just incredible. And he ends the episode ominously saying, "The night belongs to me."
Well, everyone else just stands there regretting ever meeting him, which pays off in episode 4, the bright light battle.
Maybe the funniest premise in television history. Mr. Red decides the sun is his mortal enemy and declares war on the bright light.
You'd think it's going to be a cosmic battle, but no. The entire 18 minutes is the group physically restraining this rectangle from attacking an IKEA living room lamp.
It's animated like a high-budget anime finale. Dramatic speed lines, impact frames, all directed at a lamp. Absurdism at its peak.
And then the lore deepens in episode 5, the mocking arrives.
Yes. The chaos creature. His only fighting strategy is just walking up to incredibly powerful villains and slapping them.
It logically shouldn't work, but he defeats everyone effortlessly. The villains charge up massive energy blasts, and he just walks up, slaps them, and they turn into confetti.
It completely mocks power scaling tropes. Which leads to episode 6, the Minty Men, where things start getting meta.
Right, a booming voice from the sky dubs them the Minty Men, but the central joke is that nobody knows what that means.
Not even the voice that named them knows.
Wow.
It's a hollow title. They just keep asking, are we made of mint? Are we fresh?
It means nothing. It's just a phonetic placeholder. And right when you feel completely unmoored, episode 7 throws us a lifeline. Julio's normal day.
Julio, the anchor. The only sane, rational person in the entire cast. He is us, the viewer, trapped in the screen.
All he wants is one peaceful Tuesday. He's making coffee, reading the paper, and then, completely unprompted, a girl floating 3 feet off the ground drifts into his living room.
And Julio drops his mug, falls to his knees, and screams, "Why is there a floating chick?"
The raw panic in that voice actor's delivery deserves an Emmy.
It really does. And that becomes a rallying cry for the fandom. In episode 8, The Girl Above the Sky, she explains her backstory.
Yeah, she casually mentions over breakfast that she comes from a dimension where gravity is just a suggestion.
And Julio literally considers quitting physical existence because his brain cannot handle it.
And just when you think the show is purely cynical, episode 9 and 10 hit us with an emotional arc. The Chupacabra returns, and Monster with a Heart.
This part actually made me tear up. They take this blood-sucking cryptid, and it turns out he just wants a friend.
The animation softens, his eyes get all watery, and he joins the team. But Derek immediately teaches him terrible social habits.
Of course he does. By the end, the Chupacabra is shoplifting.
The pacing is relentless, because right after that, episodes 11 and 12 introduce the new friend in sour cream without a doubt.
Oh man, the herald of the donkey trend. An army of donkey-themed characters whose sworn mission is to destroy boredom across the multiverse.
And their ultimate weapon, sour cream, they just hurl dollops of it at people.
It makes zero contextual sense, but it sets up the finale, episode 13, the first Minty crisis. The sheer weight of the nonsense causes the world to physically melt.
Buildings turn to rubber, the sky drips ink. They manage to save reality, but accidentally reboot it into something even weirder.
It's like they're trying to build an airplane mid-flight, but the metal is made entirely of slapstick comedy and existential dread.
That is a great analogy.
So let me ask you this, because I've been wondering.
Okay.
Is the universe of the Minty Men actively punishing Julio for being logical? Or is logic itself the anomaly in this world?
That is a phenomenal question. I would argue logic is an invasive species here. The universe naturally trends toward chaos.
So Julio's like a virus.
Exactly. The universe isn't maliciously punishing him. It's an immune system rejecting his need for order. Julio's logic is the disease.
Wow, logic is a disease.
Yeah.
That perfectly sets up season 2. Because if season 1 was the foundation, season 2 is where the universe shows physical symptoms of that disease.
14 episodes of the fabric of reality literally splitting. It gets remarkably dark.
Let's look at episode 1, Reality Needs Repairs. They find physical, glowing cracks in the air.
And when Julio looks inside, he doesn't find code or atoms. He finds that the cracks are filled with jokes. Written punchlines are holding reality together like mortar.
Which is terrifying. If a joke isn't funny, does the universe collapse? Then episode 2, Mr. Red goes rogue.
You'd think the evil red rectangle would want total destruction, but no, his evil master plan is to force everyone to aggressively tap dance.
It's so petty. It forces you to care about something entirely meaningless. And that continues in episode 3, the slap tournament.
The Mocking hosts the tournament where the grand prize is finally understanding what is actually happening in their universe.
The ultimate prize. Everyone is leaning in. And then nobody wins. They just get tired and the tournament abruptly ends.
The show dangles meaning and then violently rips it away, which naturally leads to episode 4, Julio's breakdown.
Poor Julio. The cast tries to comfort him by saying, "Relax, you're the only sane one here." And that completely destroys him psychologically.
Because if he is the baseline for sanity, he realizes he is fundamentally alone in this broken universe.
You actually feel bad for an animated character. And then episode 5, The Floating Chick's Secret. We get this massive meta reveal.
She finds a literal production storyboard in a cave and realizes she wasn't born, she was accidentally animated.
A production error that gains sentience. I paused the screen and just stared at my wall the first time I saw that.
Then episode 6 is a breather, Chupacabra's day off, where he just tries to relax at a spa, but the universe maliciously refuses to let him.
Every time he closes his eyes, an explosion happens.
Yeah.
Then we get the sociological parody of episode 7, The Donkey Brigade Civil War.
The donkeys violently split into 2 factions, the sour cream Orthodox believers and the radical extra sour cream separatists.
And they never explain the difference. People are destroying the town over an invisible distinction.
It's a biting parody of human factionalism. And from here, the show aggressively dismantles the fourth wall. Episode 8 is the Minty Men movie trailer.
A fake movie trailer playing on a TV inside the show that actually perfectly predicted the plot of the real-world feature film that came out years later.
Total inception, who is writing who. And episodes 9 and 10, the loop and the fourth wall fell, are where the psychological dread sets in.
The characters start experiencing massive waves of deja vu. They realize they've lived this before, but they just actively look away.
They refuse to acknowledge the time loop, and because of that, the structural walls drop entirely. Characters stop talking to each other and just deliver lines deadpan directly into the camera lens.
It is deeply unsettling. And in episode 11, the missing episode, everyone remembers an adventure that never existed in the broadcast run.
A localized, in-universe Mandela effect. They are gaslighting themselves.
Which all boils over in episode 12, The Great Minty War. Every ridiculous background character returns for an epic battle, and it's resolved by a town-wide dance-off.
The long con payoff to Mr. Red's petty evil plan, it ties the absurdity together beautifully.
Which brings us to the finale, episodes 13 and 14. The show seemingly reaches a conclusive, satisfying ending. The literal end credits begin to roll.
And then the credits violently rewind. Everyone wakes up in their beds, and the exact same day from season 1, episode 1 begins
The
again.
loop restarts, and nobody remembers a thing. Nobody. Except Julio.
Yes, only Julio remembers. His eyes snap open, and the terror on his face is haunting. The creators are weaponizing the fourth wall here.
It's not a window for us to laugh through. It's the bars of a cage for the characters. They're prisoners of their own broadcast medium.
Exactly. The very act of us watching forces them to repeat their suffering, which drags us into season 3.
Right. Season 3 drops all pretense of being a comedy and morphs into a psychological thriller about escaping a repeating timeline. I have 12 episodes here.
Starting with episodes 1 and 2, something feels familiar, and the man behind the madness. The rest of the cast finally starts noticing the repeating events.
Cups fall before they are pushed.
Yep.
And a mysterious, disembodied narrator suddenly appears.
And the characters can hear him narrating their actions. It drives them insane. Then, episodes 3 and 4, Mr. Red's final night and the last slap.
Mr. Red learns his true, pathetic purpose as a discarded art asset. And the mocking suddenly loses his powers.
His hand just phases through a villain. He has a profound identity crisis and literally sits on a curb and cries.
But the real emotional climax hits in episode 5, Julio understands. He discovers the horrifying truth that his entire existence is a cartoon loop designed for someone else's passive entertainment.
There's that quiet scene where he rubs his fingers together and realizes they are just ink and pixels. It's devastating.
And while he's having a breakdown, we get episodes 6 and 7, The Chupacabra's Choice and The Donkey Prophecy.
The Chupacabra could escape through a crack in reality, but he chooses to stay trapped in eternal torment just to be with Derek and the crew.
He chooses friendship. And juxtaposed with that, the Donkey Brigade reveals their ridiculous existence was actually a sacred prophecy. They declare sour cream will save everything.
And absolutely nobody understands what that means because it's a condiment.
But the clock is ticking. Episodes 8, 9, and 10, they decide to fight back. They actively start breaking reality.
They use Mr. Red to physically smash the walls between dimensional worlds. They are fighting the concept of the reset.
And reality fights back defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Mid-swing, the background resets to winter, then morning, then night. It's visual chaos.
Which brings us to the two-part finale, episodes 11 and 12. They punch through the sky and reach the genesis point of the animation software.
Literal code. They successfully jam the mechanism and stop the loop, but they have to create a new beginning to avoid existing in a white void.
And the final shot of the series is a slow pullback out of the cartoon world, revealing a live-action computer screen.
And typed on that real-world screen are the words MINT Men12 ? Cut to black.
Brilliant sadistic storytelling. They traded one medium for another.
It's like being stuck listening to a skipping record, but instead of fixing the record player, the characters start harmonizing with the skip.
Yes, using the flaw to create a new song.
So, if the completely absurd Donkey Brigade predicted the end of the universe with a condiment prophecy, does that mean the most absurd characters actually have the highest level of cosmic awareness?
That is the grand unified theory right there. Yes, in a universe where logic is punished, the only way to achieve enlightenment is through pure absurdity.
Wow.
Julio suffers because he tries to apply human reason. The Donkey Brigade thrives because they inherently understand that screaming about sour cream makes exactly as much sense as anything else. They become the nonsense.
They are the Zen masters of nonsense. That is perfect, and that breakthrough transitions us into the cinematic fever dream that is the feature film.
Because the story absolutely did not end with that blinking cursor.
Right. Years later, we get a 2-hour and 14-minute movie, The Never-Ending End. It starts exactly to the millisecond where Season 3 ended.
The Minty Men realize stopping the TV loop just shifted them into a larger, overarching macro-narrative loop.
So they have to travel through the graveyard of their own production history. They wander through deleted episodes, rough animatics, alternate early draft versions of themselves.
They are literally fighting discarded ideas, scrap jokes, and cut characters. It's a journey through the subconscious mind of their creators.
And it all leads to the grand climax against the first Minty Man, the original creator of the loop. Reality is folding in on itself, but they actually win.
They defeat him, he dissolves, and reality resets one final time. But the massive twist is that this time they retain all of their memories.
The loop didn't wipe their minds. And the ending is so deeply unsettling. They are sitting on a hill, the colors are muted. They remember every death, every reset.
Julio takes a long breath and asks quietly, so, are we finally free?
And the very second he says free, the movie screen violently glitches. A distorted robotic voice says, Season 4.
And every character stops breathing, turns rigidly, and looks dead straight into the camera lens. At us. And it cuts to black.
They are begging us to stop watching them, because us watching is what powers the machine. We are the wardens of their prism.
It makes you feel guilty just for being a viewer. But the creators twisted the knife further with a post-credits scene.
Yes. Not just a teaser, an aggressive real-world activation. A URL fades in. The world of the Minty Men - something is coming.
And when fans went to that site, they found a slowly melting logo and a ticking countdown clock. 3 years, 80 hours, 20 minutes.
With the text, the Minty Men will return when reality is ready. I remember refreshing my phone until it died when that went live.
The fandom completely lost it. A 3-year real-world countdown is unprecedented arrogance and absolute brilliance.
And the internet mutated. Which brings us to the great meltdown. The forums and theories.
Let's talk about the Minty Men World Bank forums. It used to be a harmless fan archive for MS Paint art.
But overnight, it morphed into the biggest conspiracy board on the internet. And the admins gamified the whole site. Unique psychological profiles, prestige badges, achievement systems.
Hidden event trophies. People were treating this forum like a full-time job.
And right now, the status is officially labeled the Melting Logo Incident. There are over 2.4 million active theories posted.
847,000 users online simultaneously. Server stability is questionable at best.
We have to dive into the heavy hitters, the minor celebrities of the fandom. First up, user Minty Master 2000.
Right, with the original Loop Investigator badge.
He believes the movie didn't end the loop, it moved it outside the show. He argues with thousands of words of math that the 3-year countdown is for our actual real-world universe to reset.
He genuinely thinks our physical reality is rebooting. But then we have Miss Red Enjoyer, certified Mr. Red historian badge.
Oh, his theory is wild.
He believes Mr. Red isn't a character, but the physical manifestation of the countdown itself, an omnipotent timekeeper.
Which prompted the greatest reply ever on a public forum. Someone just wrote, "Bro thinks a red rectangle is God."
It completely deflates this massive theological argument.
It's so funny. Okay, my favorite user is Julia Truthseeker. Badge is the only sane one.
Oh, the 4D chess theory?
Yes. They theorize Julio was never confused. He was pretending the whole time as a survival mechanism. When he yelled, "Why is there a floating chick?" he was actually noticing the animation code breaking and trying to warn us without tipping off the universe.
He remembers every timeline and is playing dumb to avoid deletion. It's a great theory. Next is Donkey Brigade Commander, the Sour Cream General.
He believes the donkeys are ancient cosmic guardians, and sour cream is a classified phonetic code word that triggers reality safeguards.
Amazing. Then we have the Chupacabra Friendship Club, Monster Appreciation Society badge.
This one is so wholesome. They think the Chupacabra is the only one who truly escaped the loop because he stopped trying to understand it logically and just embraced friendship.
Transcending the narrative by ignoring it. Beautiful. Finally, Floating Chick Reel with the Gravity Breaker badge.
They found hidden symbols in the sky and think the floating chick is an external virus from outside the Minty universe that the system can't process.
So with all these power users clashing, it's a theological war zone. Let's break down the top 5 theories ripping the fandom apart.
The Forum Wars.
Okay.
Theory number 1. The sequel is actually Season 4.
Fans notice the melting logo distorts exactly like the Season 3 finale reset, and the countdown clock stutters backward.
And occasionally flashes the text, "You already saw this," implying we are already participating in the loop ourselves.
Theory number 2 causes absolute chaos, escaping into the real world.
Deep Dive fans inspected the website's HTML source code. The core file path is just named, file.ly:reality.
Leading people to believe this is an ARG event where the characters physically break into our world.
Logically impossible, but thrilling at 3 a.m. Theory number 3. Julio created everything.
Right, because Julio survives every reset with memories intact, they argue he's the original demiurge who accidentally wiped his own memory when he got trapped in his creation.
Tragic god, Julio. Theory number 4. Mr. Red is the original Minty Man.
Frame-by-frame sleuths found a red silhouette in the background of the movie's climax.
And the hidden audio track played backward whispers. Before the first joke, there was the first color.
Absolute chills. It frames him as a primordial entity.
And finally, theory number 5, the countdown is a joke.
Universally despised. Cynical users think the creators are trolls, and in 3 years the screen will just say, "You waited for nothing."
Nobody wants to believe they invested years of their finite life into a prank. So the fandom is completely tribalized over this.
But amidst all the screaming, there is one post by user mintyarchive_001 that clarifies everything.
Yes, the expert analysis of the forums. Almost 10 million likes on this post.
It just says, the funniest part is that we're doing exactly what the characters did. They spent 3 seconds trying to understand nonsense, and now we're doing the exact same thing.
It is the ultimate meta-commentary. We are frantically trying to apply rigid logic to a property that repeatedly told us logic does not exist. We are Julio.
We are entirely Julio. We caught the logic disease from him.
And to understand the infectious nature of this madness, we have to talk about the anthem of madness, the song we were humming.
The Minty Man Madness. Let's break down the lyrics because it's a thematic map of the show. Verse 1 drops us into the action.
Derek slapped Mickey right behind the head. "Wake up, buddy, we're not done yet." Gerald came swinging with Mr. Red in hand, marching like a one-man marching band.
A literal recap of the inciting chaos. And then it hyper-focuses on Mr. Red. Mr. Red went wild in the dead of night, chasing shadows underneath the moonlight.
He screamed, "I'm ready, I'm here to fight, I'll take on darkness and challenge the light," a direct reference to him fighting the lamp.
Exactly. Then the pre-chorus brings in the subversion of power. Then the mocking came crashing down, running through the streets of the sleepy town, slapping left, slapping right.
He yelled out loud with a crazy grin, "Oh my God, we're the Minty Men," highlighting the hollow absurdity of the name.
And the chorus is the thesis statement. What is going on? Nobody knows. Chaos is dancing and the madness grows.
They flat out admit to the audience, we're lost in a song with no master plan.
Verse 2 honors the suffering cast. Julio looked up and shouted in fright, "Holy shit, why is there a floating chick tonight?"
Capturing his baseline panic perfectly. And the Chupacabra rises from the sand, just wanting a friend.
And the bridge just redlines the energy. The new friend arrives and slaps the crew with the donkey trend.
The thunder shakes the track, and the Donkey Brigade screams their unhinged battle cry, "Sour cream, we're breaking out."
But the meta outro is the most important part. After that crescendo, the music literally cuts. Complete dead silence for 3 seconds.
And an unnamed guy yells in genuine frustration, "What the hell is going on with this fucking song? Who wrote this thing? What went wrong?"
It's the voice of reason trying to interrupt. It's Bugsy No Name.
And the choir's collective answer is the entire philosophy of the show. Dude, we don't know either. We just kept going through.
Survival by pure momentum. Don't question the nonsense or the loop will crush you.
Which brings us to the reason we are recording this today. The midnight update. Things escalated from an internet puzzle to an active hostile situation.
Exactly. At midnight last night, the teaser website suddenly updated. The melting logo completely stopped. The pixels froze mid-drip.
And a new message wiped away the old text. It read, in bold font, "You found the loop."
And seconds later, a second message gave a command. Now find the first Minty Man.
The timer just kept ticking down, still going. But the forums, they immediately catastrophically crashed.
800,000 people stampeded the servers. The creators basically confirmed the grandest theory. We have found the loop because we are in it.
And now we have an active directive to find the first Minty Man. So let's synthesize all of this. Why are millions of people obsessing over a cartoon about an angry red rectangle?
Because it is a profound commentary on human nature. We are pattern-seeking animals. When presented with pure nonsense, our brains violently reject it.
We desperately search for meaning, even when we are explicitly told there is none. We want the loop to make sense.
Because if the loop of a cartoon makes sense, maybe our own unpredictable reality makes sense too. We refuse to accept that a slap is just a slap.
We demand the physics behind the floating chick. And the creators weaponize that need. They built a playground of absurdity and watched us spend years building conspiracy boards.
It is the most successful piece of interactive metafiction ever.
And that leaves me with one final deeply provocative thought for you, the listener, to mull over. Let's look at the clues. The source code path was named file:reality.
Right.
And the Midnight Update gave a directive directly to the real-world audience. Find the first Minty Man.
Not to the characters, but to us.
Exactly. So what if the first Minty Man, the original architect of the loop, isn't a deleted character from the cartoon at all? What if they aren't in animation?
Oh.
If the file we are currently in is reality? What if the first Minty Man is the very first real-world person who ever pressed play and watched the show?
The original observer who collapsed the quantum state of the cartoon into existence.
Yes. The one whose viewing initiated the loop that trapped Derek, Mickey, and Julio in the first place. Could the first Minty Man we are supposed to find be you?
That is a terrifying thought to leave on, the idea that we are literally hunting ourselves.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the madness. Keep an eye on the clock, don't trust the sour cream, and we will see you on the other side of the loop.
Donkey trend, donkey trend.
Sour cream, we're breaking out.